Mehmet Celik, who is the editorial coordinator of Turkiye-based English language newspaper, the Daily Sabah. He joins me now live from Istanbul. Thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. So we are getting reports that Ukraine and the United Nations have confirmed consultations are ongoing. Tell me, how likely do you think is it for this deal to be extended from 60 to 120 days?
Well, I think extending this from this deal from 60 days to 120 days, to me, as far as I have followed, it seems a little difficult at the moment because we see Russia's skepticism towards extension of the deal to 120 days for two reasons. One, Russia underlines that this is although there is goodwill on extension of the deal, but for Russia, this is a one-legged deal. It argues that the agricultural Russian fertilizers are facing obstacles at ports, and they're not able to export the products to the needed markets. That's one thing. The other reason for skepticism is because the course of the war has changed. I think the huge Western military deployment to Ukraine and the fierce clashes in the east right now, for example, in Bakhmut, these are changing some of the decision making when it comes to these negotiations or in a way normalization of this grain deal. So there is a skepticism for one. Trade reasons, for economic reasons, be it agricultural exports or fertilizer exports from Russia, and two, I think this is being used as a card by Moscow in a way to make sure that they can get what it wants on the table from Ukraine and the Western parties as well. So there is this goodwill, but it considers the deal to be a one-legged deal. So there's this skepticism on extending it to 220 days.
And it's a perplexing situation, isn't it? Because if the deal stays the same, then Ukraine will be disappointed. But if it is extended to 120 days, then Russia would be disappointed. So tell me, do you think there is a way for Turkey to appease both parties at this point? Because remember, Turkey is one of the guarantors of the Black Sea Grain Agreement.
Well, I think Turkey has been doing, all it can do to make sure that this deal actually survives through diplomatic negotiations, through facilitating this platform with the UN as well. And so far it has been very beneficial for food prices worldwide, for making sure that the wheat and grain reaches to markets, particularly in the developing nations. So Turkey will push forward all its means when it comes to diplomacy between Ukraine and Russia, as it has good links and good relations with both sides. However, at this point and at this course of where the war stands at the moment, I am not sure if the Russian side is willing to compromise or normalize this deal to stay as it is with 120 days. I think there is skepticism from Moscow's side. However, Turkey and the UN will push forward to full 120 days instead of just settling for the half of it. But I think Russian skepticism may push a little harder than the negotiators.
Now, Mr. Celik, as you say, Turkey and the United Nations will push forward to extend this deal from 60 to 120 days. Help me understand, why is this deal so important to Turkey?
Well, this deal is important to Turkey, but Turkey puts an importance on this because it affects not just the region, not just Europe, not just Turkey's region, but worldwide. This is an important deal to prevent a worldwide food crisis, be it wheat prices or food issues in the developing nations. This is a huge diplomacy and negotiation platform which Turkey has supported, and Turkey has been taking the lead in this negotiation with the UN because Turkey is able to do this. Now, when when all the Western parties have closed the doors to Moscow, Turkey has been, maintaining its relations with Russia, although militarily or politically, it supports Ukraine on the war. So it has militarily supported Ukraine. It has politically supported Ukraine. It is against Russian invasion of Ukraine, but as a diplomatic as a diplomatic power in the region, Turkey is able to talk to both sides and wants this crisis not to turn into a global food crisis where many in the disadvantaged nations will be affected severely, let alone just the neighborhood. So this diplomatic power of Turkey between the two sides is something that Ankara wants to leverage as a medium, as a middle power in the region, as a power that puts a huge importance on diplomacy. It wants to elevate this diplomatic muscle between the two parties and this is one of the global responsibilities Turkey has put its own shoulders.
Fascinating insights into the topic. Mehmet Celik, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.